Boston.
But let's say Detroit thinks Reggie Jackson's going to come back and he's going to play this year. Let's just say they decide, you know what, let's move Bruce. We've got D. Rose, who, I want to talk about this. He started the last 2 games. Detroit's won the last 2 games. You know, what if? What if that happens? Okay, let's move on from Bruce. Let's continue the Reggie train. You know, they say he's due back very soon. Does he have a place?
It's a tough thing to analyze, I would say. With where the team is at right now, I think his role is pretty minimal. I mean, he gets the Tim Frazier minutes right now? Does he take some of Bruce's minutes at point guard? Then who falls out of the rotation?
Reggie Jackson just falls to the bottom of the mix.
No, he'll get a role somewhere. I just don't know where, because what this team has right now is a lot of guards.
Does the team say, "Hey,
Tim Frazier's minutes aren't promised"? We see very clearly Tim Frazier's minutes are very fluid depending on how he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So those minutes aren't just a guaranteed 20 a night for Reggie Jackson. Here you go. So those are very wishy-washy minutes. So that means we're going to be taking minutes away from Bruce at point. We're going to be taking minutes away from Svi maybe, because Dwayne Casey loves Langston Galloway.
What if there's something that comes about where you get a valuable asset for your first-round pick and a team that goes, man, we need a point guard. Let's take a chance on Reggie Jackson.
I don't think that's plausible. I don't think that's
you don't think it's plausible?
No one is taking Reggie Jackson.
I just don't.
The dude hasn't been on the court since the second game of the year. Getting paid $16 million.
If you attached a first-round pick to it, somebody that was desperate for a backup point guard,
but you're getting an asset back, so that just doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up.
Maybe it's a flyer that you take a chance on being an asset.
No,
greater upside.
No one's touching Reggie Jackson. I think that's pretty apparent. I think if there was a trade for Reggie Jackson to be had, it would have already been made.
If you're parting with your first-round pick, that means you're making a move to get better, not you're taking a flyer on somebody. It doesn't work. I don't know.
Fair enough.
It doesn't work for me.
So what's Reggie's role when he comes back? What's his what if it was your choice? His role is he's got nothing. You stuff him at the end of the bench, or does he have a spot?
I think the team is going to try to find him a spot. Again, it's those Tim Frazier minutes here and there. I think he's going to take some minutes from Bruce. I think you're going to see some of Svi's minutes decline. I just don't see a realm where Reggie Jackson comes back healthy and isn't in the rotation.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, Aaron. I'm sorry.
I'll finish up quickly so then you can give your point. But especially with the way the team has talked about he's coming back soon. He's coming back soon. It's not well, we might just let him rest the rest of the year, be healthy going into free agency for him. They obviously seem to have a plan for him to come back here. And I think that means some of those young guys lose some minutes. I also think it takes a few minutes away from Derrick Rose as well, because especially as of late, he's been playing a tad more than you would like, considering the minutes restriction that the Pistons try to hold him to. So I definitely think that he's going to get minutes. I think it means you're going to see some more Bruce at the 2. So a little bit less Derrick Rose, maybe a little bit less Svi. But Reggie's going to have a spot in the rotation.
Ideally, Detroit has to move Langston Galloway for that to really work out.
Yes, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. You take all the time you need to finish your point. It's another thing that gets me.
You two enjoy having your fun over here. I don't want to interrupt.
It's just another thing that gets me animated about my focus is on the future. There's some exciting young pieces, and with Reggie Jackson come back, the Dwayne Casey we know, his track record suggests Reggie Jackson's coming back and being in the starting lineup. That's the Dwayne Casey we know.
Yeah.
That's what his track record suggests. Maybe not the first game to get Reggie
by
acclimated
the third
again,
or fourth.
but he will be back in that starting lineup because that is the Dwayne Casey I feel that we all know, and that has been his track record. How long did it? We said it would take excuse me. I'm so animated. I'm tripping over my words right now.
Ryan came here tonight
ready
to go.
I came ready to go. I'm juiced. I'm fired up. We talked about in the beginning of the year how it was going to take some time to get Thon out of the rotation, but he was going to play his way out, right?
Right.
But it took way too long.
Right.
Because Dwayne Casey is stubborn with his guys. And I get Reggie Jackson was here before Dwayne Casey was here. But he's gone with Reggie Jackson. He has rode that train. He's going to put him back in the starting lineup. That's what his track record suggests. He is loyal.
Right.
He is loyal. He is loyal.
So then,
it's gonna put him in that starting lineup.
So Bruce falls out of the starting lineup, or Luke falls out of the starting lineup, or Thon falls out of the, or not Thon. Tony Snell. Meant Tony Snell. Totally meant Tony Snell. Still, it's likely Bruce.
It's Bruce.
It's Bruce.
It's not Luke. It's definitely
it
not
better
Luke
not be Luke.
It can't be Luke. It can't be.
No. Oh my goodness. If it's Luke,
I'm done.
Send the team Seattle. I couldn't blame you.
Send them to Seattle. I will buy that ticket.
But I think what you're looking at when Reggie Jackson comes back, if I was running the Pistons, what I would do is I would put him on a 15-minute per game minute restriction. He would come off the bench and play 2, 7, 8-minute spurts, and that would be it for him the rest of the season. Unless, towards the end of the year you're winning a lot and he's a big part of that, and then you want to uptick his minutes. But look, I think everyone that's listened to this podcast, everyone that's followed me on Twitter, everyone that's read my work about him knows that I believe Reggie Jackson is a good basketball player when he's healthy. I think everyone knows how much throughout the years I've defended his name.
You stuck by Reggie Jackson.
And
the Aaron Johnson that we know, Ryan, will continue to defend Reggie Jackson.
He's still defending Stanley Johnson.
He still is.
Reggie Jackson.
It's like he's paying on that Stanley contract for like the next 6 years.
I'm one of
his loyalty. He's like owing for like 6 more years off the books.
I'm one of the shareholders on his contract, actually. So
seriously, he was a ground floor investor with us. Seriously,
but I think give him that opportunity to play a little bit. Let's see what value he has for the rest of the season, and obviously going into the offseason where he's an unrestricted free agent. But don't tarnish your future. Don't put Bruce Brown to the bench. Don't put Svi to the bench. Don't limit those guys. Let them continue to grow, as Ryan talked about. I do want to see Reggie Jackson play because I know Reggie Jackson's a good basketball player. And what has happened, what has happened to Reggie Jackson in his tenure in Detroit is just so unfortunate.
It's a travesty.
It really is, considering how he came here, the way he played when he got here, his first full season when he was phenomenal, borderline all-star, and helped lead the Pistons to the playoffs, and then the injuries. It's so unfortunate, and there's been so many people that have slandered him as a basketball player that are so far off base just because he could not stay healthy. There was no denying that whenever Reggie Jackson was healthy, the Pistons were a better basketball team with him on the floor. They won games when Reggie Jackson was healthy. It's really unfortunate the way it's gone down with his tenure. Mm-hmm. At that same time, when he returns, he should be on a minutes restriction coming off the bench the rest of the season.
Fair, but we all know that won't happen. That might be a first week back thing. Get him back, get him into his first few games on a minute restriction, get him on the floor. I agree with you though, Ryan. Reggie is going to find his way back to the starting lineup because that's the Dwayne Casey we know. Dwayne Casey's going to be loyal to those guys. He's going to give Reggie his chance to be the starter. And you know what? He knows that, okay, if I start Reggie and it goes really well, then maybe we consider another 1-year deal with Reggie and seeing what can happen if he could stay healthy. Maybe we make a push to the playoffs. Maybe that helps me look like, hey, yeah, we are developing as a team. If it goes really bad, then it opens up okay, we're done with Reggie. We move on, and whatever. I expect him to return to that starting lineup, and I expect it to affect, as Aaron mentioned, both Bruce and Derrick Rose's minutes. But there was something, Aaron, you said there when talking about Reggie that makes me want to kind of switch our topic just a little bit. Unless if you want to add something.
I just have something real quick to add. I like Aaron's point about the 15-minute, 7-8-minute spurts. Minutes restriction, and it's no ill will against Reggie Jackson. I agree. And really, the one good year we got to see him be fully healthy and fully functional, he was a borderline all-star, and he was a very good player. He is not some locker room cancer. He's the only guy you ever see when they're injured who's always with the team. He was a very good player. There's nothing wrong with Reggie Jackson. I have no ill will towards Reggie Jackson, but it's just time. When you see guys like Svi playing the way he's playing, is he the greatest basketball player on the planet?
Very well
Many
could
are
be.
asking. Jesus, he is on fire right now. Bruce is developing very well, and we need to see him keep developing at point guard. Luke needs to have his minutes. Sekou needs, these young guys just need their minutes right now. They need to grow. It's their time to learn.
Yeah.
It's no ill will on Reggie. It's just time.
Well,
it's time for a change of the guard.